The time is 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Anjana Dodamgoda and read by Tilani Pires. The headlines. The President declares open Nihobashi Japanese restaurant at Port City. The government of Japan donates $3 million to strengthen inland fisheries. The state revenue has reached an impressive 834 billion rupees. Sri Lanka to start first strawberry cultivation mode village in Nuwara area. Colombo to host International Tea Convention in July. And on international news, Israel intensifies strikes on Rafah ahead of threatened invasion. And on sports news, Sri Lanka kicks off T20 World Cup qualifier against Thailand. The President Ranil Wickremesinghe inaugurated the Nihobashi Japanese restaurant situated within the premises of the Colombo port city. The first of its kind, Nihobashi, was originally established in 1995 at Golfes Terrace by renowned chef Darshana Munidasa and has since been a prominent destination for both local and international patrons seeking authentic Japanese cuisine over the past 29 years. During the opening ceremony, the President took a tour of the restaurant, engaging in friendly conversation with the attendees. Notable figures such as the President's senior advisor on national security and Chief of Staff to the President, Sagara Ratnayaka, were also present to mark the occasion. The Japanese government has provided a grant of $3 million through the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations to strengthen inland fisheries and improve rural livelihoods in partnership with the Ministry of Fisheries. The $3 million initiative will bolster food and nutritional security and fortify resilience by establishing 4 community-operated mini-hatcheries in Battikaloa, Mullaitivu, Anuradhapura and Moranagala districts, upgrade 4 NAQDA aquaculture development centers and 1 community-operated mini-fish breeding center to increase the breeding and rearing capacity, enhance fingerling stocks in selected reservoirs, develop brood stock for breeding units, and promote cage culture for seed rearing among fisher communities. The non-Cabinet Minister of State Plantation Enterprises Reforms and State Minister of Finance, Ranjit Siambalapitiya, said that in the first quarter of this year, state revenue has reached an impressive 834 billion rupees. This achievement not only surpasses the projected revenue but also indicates a growth of 6%. The State Minister emphasized that with prudent financial management and a consistent revenue pattern, 2024 promises to be a year where revenue targets can be successfully attained. The State Minister Siambalapitiya made these remarks during his participation in a press briefing held at the Presidential Media Centre today under the theme Collective Path to a Stable Country. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Department of Agrarian Development has made arrangements to establish Sri Lanka's first strawberry cultivation model village in Nuwara. The Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries, Mahinda Amaravira, advised the Department of Agrarian Development to start the strawberry model cultivation village under the program initiated by the government to acquaint the farmers with the new crops that have been exported using new technology. Accordingly, the Department of Agrarian Development took steps to start the strawberry cultivation. Under this arrangement, 40 farmers in Nuwara have been selected and arrangements have been made by the Department of Agrarian Development to provide the farmers with financial allocation for strawberry plants required for cultivation as well as the new technology and water supply required for cultivation. Especially for this cultivation, one farmer spends about 1.3 million rupees, of which 750,000 rupees have been provided by the Department of Agrarian Development without any recovery. The Colombo International Tea Convention will be held from July 24th to 26th, 2024 at the Cinnamon Grand, Colombo, bringing together the biggest leaders and disruptors of the tea industry to inspire insightful conversation, hard-hitting dialogue and fresh perspectives that will shape the future of tea. The convention is freshly rebranded under the timely theme, Tea, a Lifestyle and a Livelihood, and over 600 will attend. Tea has immense potential as a growth engine to generate sustainable outcomes for people and the planet. However, the tea industry continues to face challenging times amid the impacts of climate change, political volatility and declining socio-economic conditions across the world. That ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatmya.
The President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed his commitment to creating an economic environment in the country where people would not struggle again. Highlighting the successful rebuilding of the collapsed economy within 2 years, he emphasized his efforts to enhance the standard of the living by establishing a resilient economy. These remarks were made today during the inauguration of the ITC Ratnadeepa Hotel, located in Golfers Green, and this hotel marks the first venture outside India by the ITC Hotel Group. The ITC Limited, wholly owned subsidiary, welcomes Hotel Lanka Private Limited, has launched ITC Ratnadeepa, a jewel in Colombo's skyline that promises to enrich the tourism and hospitality landscape of Sri Lanka. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And on Watchlight tonight, the High Commission of India in Colombo has issued an advisory for travellers to Sri Lanka on fraudulent visas website. The Controller General of Immigration and Emigration of Sri Lanka has warned travellers to Sri Lanka about misleading websites that charge exorbitant fees for Sri Lanka electronic travel authorization visas. The High Commission noted that the Immigration and Emigration Department is the issuing authority of Sri Lanka ETA visa, and the correct link for its website is as follows: www.immigration.gov.lk. Thereby, the travellers are advised to use only the official Sri Lankan government website for ETA visa: www.eta.gov.lk. That was Watchlight. Coming up, World News. World News headlines first. Israel intensifies strikes on Rafah ahead of threatened invasion. Kyiv uses long-range U.S. missiles for the first time. Searing heat shuts schools for 33 million children in Bangladesh. Israel stepped up airstrikes on Rafah overnight, killing at least 6 Palestinians, medics said on Thursday, after saying it would evacuate civilians from the Gaza border city and storm it despite allies' warnings this could cause mass casualties. In the 7th month of the devastating air and ground war against the Gaza Strip's ruling Islamist group, Hamas, Israeli forces also resumed bombarding northern and central areas of the enclave as well as east of Khan Yunis in the south. Ukraine has begun using long-range ballistic missiles against Russia that were secretly provided by the US-American officials have confirmed. The weapons were sent as part of a previous US support package and arrived this month. They have already been used at least once to strike Russian targets in occupied Crimea. More American weaponry is expected to be sent imminently after President Joe Biden signed off on Wednesday a new package of economic and military support for Ukraine worth $61 billion. Searing heat has forced 33 million children out of schools in Bangladesh as temperatures in parts of the country soared past 42 Celsius. Schools and colleges will be shut for at least until 27th of April. This is the second year in a row that authorities made such a move due to extreme weather. It follows school closures in the Philippines and India as a persistent heat wave sweeps across Asia. The country's weather authorities issued a 4th heat alert for the month on Thursday. Low-lying Bangladesh is one of the countries most vulnerable to the impacts of the climate crisis. Back to the world news headlines. Israel intensifies strikes on Rafah ahead of threatened invasion. Kyiv uses long-range US missiles for the first time. Searing heat shuts schools for 33 million children in Bangladesh. That ends world news. And on development news, a meeting between Chinese Association of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena was held today at Temple Trees. Attention was paid on to expansion and trade investments in renewable energy, vehicle manufacturing, agricultural technology, paper and printing-related fields. The president on the association, Ren Xinglei, said that the Chinese people are very happy about the Prime Minister's visit to China and expressed his heartfelt gratitude for the visit. Vice President of the association, Shu Xiang, said that there is potential to invest in the development of industries related to the solar power, wind power and biomass energy in Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister pointed out the possibility of exporting high-quality cinnamon to China and the possibility of giving priority to the import of electronic vehicles. That ends development news. Moving on with sports news. Sri Lanka's journey in the 2024 ICC Women's T20 World Cup qualifiers begins as they clash against Thailand in the inaugural match of Group A scheduled to take place in Abu Dhabi. The match marks the commencement of the qualifiers, with Ireland also set to face the UAE in Group B. The tournament features a lineup of competitive teams, with Group A comprising Sri Lanka, Thailand, Scotland, Uganda and the USA, while Group B includes Ireland, Zimbabwe, Netherlands, UAE and Vanuatu. That came to you in sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Asset Line Insurance Brokers Private Limited and Pearl Bay has come forward to sponsor the first ever Mercantile Cricket Association T+10 Cricket Tournament 2024 on the 27th and 28th of April and continue on to 4th and 5th of May. The tournament will be conducted on matching wickets using the white ball, with players attired in coloured clothing in 2 stages, playing a total of 31 matches. The sponsorship handing over ceremony, together with the media conference and captain's briefing and the draw for grouping, was held yesterday at the MCA Legends Wing. Event was graced with the attendance of the Director, David Peary's Motor Company Private Limited, and Chairperson, Asset Line Insurance Brokers Private Limited, Miss Romani Parakrama. That came to you in Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now on economic news, the international magazine CEO World has ranked Sri Lanka among the top 5 world best countries to visit in your lifetime 2024. To help you decide on your next vacation spot, CEO World magazine has compiled a list of the best countries to visit in your lifetime. The list includes Asian classics such as India, Indonesia and Thailand, as well as more far-flung destinations like Fiji, New Zealand and Tahiti. The rankings are based on feedback from over 295,000 readers, making it the highest level of participation in the magazine's history. That ends economic news.
Weather report.
The meteorology department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western, Sabragamua, central, northwestern and southern provinces during the night. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the Sabragamua, central and Uva provinces during the morning hours. That was the weather report, and now to this news broadcast, the main points once again. The President declares open Nihonbashi, Japanese restaurant at Port City. The government of Japan donates $3 million to strengthen inland fisheries. The state revenue has reached an impressive 834 billion rupees. Sri Lanka to start first strawberry cultivation model village in Nuwara Eliya. Colombo to host International Tea Convention in July. And on international news, Israel intensifies strikes on Rafah ahead of threatened invasion. And on sports news, Sri Lanka kicks off T20 World Cup qualifier against Thailand. That ends this news broadcast. And now it's back to our friends, as always, on a Thursday night. That's Marilla Van Dort and Navidu all set and ready with your kind of music at your request, of course. So back to you, Marilla and Navidu, once again.